I'm going to do a short video today on something that really annoys me, very irritated. And that's that people who are tenors or baritones or trained tenors or baritones will typically say something like singing above the passaggio open is dangerous. What they mean by open is uncovered, unturned, depending on how they're using the terminology. And I'm here to tell you that is absolute nonsense, but it depends what resonances you're tuning. So, if they were right about that, Tom Jones should have lost his voice about 50 years ago. Clearly the guy's, nearly 80 and still singing. So, what's going on there? Well, you can go up with a sound that we would hear as open or you uncovered, but you could be tuning the same resonance as a covered sound, more or less. So what I mean by that is rather than going up like this, and I'll give you a small example here. Let's do the classical one first. So what I would normally do and teach is something like this. So, from Tosca, the cover position, as I talked about in my last video, is already there from the upper middle voice, and then as we go over the passaggio, the voice turns, yeah? So, i.e. picks up in squillo. So, that would be a good classical version, at least in my opinion. A lot of people do something like this. And pull the voice back and kind of go suddenly covered as they reach the passaggio point. Whatever, most people would say both of those things are covered, right? And they would say, well, anything other than that would be dangerous, right? You'll lose your voice. Yeah, it's true to an extent if you do it like this. That kind of hurts, and that is definitely not a safe way of going. But what if I were to do it like this? Now, granted, it doesn't actually sound very operatic anymore, but I'm tuning the same kind of resonance as a covered sound, but I'm not going all the way into that ooh type sound. So that sound, kind of like a cry, right? Very common in belters, both male and female. In fact, that's the kind of sound we would hear as a belt, more or less. And that sound can go up pretty high, actually. So you'll hear, if you listen to someone like Tom Jones, he basically keeps that kind of sound all the way to an A flat. And then, if he goes high enough, which doesn't happen very often, but if he goes high enough to A's and B flats, that's going to kind of go into an operatic squillo kind of sound of something, maybe not quite, but something very close to that, yeah? So if you're going up, you kind of wants to end up there, right? Obviously, it's difficult for me to forget my training, difficult for me to forget everything I normally do and teach in terms of a subconscious function, but that feels to me a logical place for that resonance to go, actually. So if we go high enough, we actually end up in the same place. So this kind of belty open sound, it's not at all dangerous. It just depends how you do it and how specific you are with it. If you go, obviously that's not going to work because you're not tuning any real resonance there. You're just making a completely discordant, messy sound that has no real center and no real connection to any kind of resonance. So that one will hurt you. That is true. But let's not say that all open sounds are necessarily dangerous above the passaggio point. That doesn't make any sense. And there are a lot of singers, popular singers, who have been successfully singing for decades, who have good, reliable technique, who wouldn't be able to sing anymore if that were the case. We'll see you next time.